All right, that's enough for the Tigers for now. We'll check back in with them next week on Tuesday and see how they do. Let's talk about Southern Jaguars football. It's been a tough start to the season for them. They're 0-2 right now. Losses to Alabama State and a close one on the road, 14-10. And then most recently in the Boombox Classic, another tough L to Jackson State in front of a sold-out crowd. It was an awesome environment. There's a lot of excitement around this team right now. They went 7-5 last year. Had a really good season in Eric Dooley's first year, but off to a pretty slow start here in the second year. 13-point loss most recently, as I said. I think the biggest problem right now with Southern is the offense just is not catching on. I had Kevin Batiste in here for a prior episode. Check it out if you missed it. And one thing that stuck out to me when I was researching this Southern team is how critical it is for this offense to play well for this team to win. Last year, Southern, I've said this before, 1-4 in games where they failed to score 25 or more points. In the games where they did do that, 7-5 record, do the math, they were 6-1 when the offense caught on, caught fire, and put up some big numbers. They haven't done that yet this year. In fact, they haven't even scored 25 points in total yet through 2 games, 14 and then 10. So that's the biggest problem for me right now with this team. The defense has played well enough for you to win games. There's the occasional big play they give up on a reverse, on a big run where they just don't tackle. But, that kind of stuff, it's going to happen. It happens to every football team. You'll miss a tackle once in a while. And Jackson State, they still got all that talent, most of it at least that Deion Sanders brought in before he left for Colorado. That's a good football team. They're held in extremely high regard in the SWAC. So that's not a bad loss by any stretch of the imagination. So back to Southern. How can they turn it around? How can this offense get going? For me, it's the run game. There's a clear imbalance right now in the offense as to what's the strength, what's the identity of the offense. To me, it's the passing game. It's kind of tough to tell because even the passing game has been a little suspect. Harold Blood is putting up about 50% completion percentage numbers. He's turning the ball over, things like that. But the run game has really, really been stifled so far. The first game, Southern carried 27 times for 69 yards. And I'll give you the sack-adjusted numbers, too, because I think that does matter. They only lost 12 yards on sacks. So you remove that, it's still not a pretty stat line. It wasn't pretty to begin with. Most recently against Jackson State, 28 carries for 54 yards. And they only lost 9 yards on sacks. That's maybe 2 yards a carry. That's not good. That's not consistent moving of the football down the field. So it seems like Southern's relying way too much on that passing game, and maybe that's why you're seeing Blood put up these, not so pretty numbers. About 50% completion percentage. As a quarterback, you want to be at about 70, and he threw 2 picks last game. So if you get that run game mixed in, they had a rushing touchdown against Jackson State from about 20 yards out. You get some of those mixed in, you can balance your offense out. And you don't force Harold Blood, a newer quarterback, really entering his first full season of starting, to be Superman. So that run game's got to pick up. I'm not sure if it's a running back or an offensive line thing, because the offensive line hasn't been great. They allowed Blood to be sacked 7 times against Jackson State, and then 2 more against Alabama A&M, which isn't as bad. But that offensive line really has to pick it up and give Blood some more protection and I guess open up some more holes in the run game because you got good athletes back there. There's 3 or 4 capable guys of toting the rock. But if they got nowhere to go, they got nowhere to go. So watch out for that run game this weekend against Alabama A&M to see if that starts to progress. I know Kevin's been talking a lot this week about Southern's offensive line and talking to Coach Julie about, how can this unit improve and, kind of the specifics on that. So check that out as well on our YouTube page if you haven't seen it. I know Kevin's been covering that relentlessly this week, as he does every week. He's kind of our Southern Jaguars beat reporter. So as I mentioned, Alabama A&M is up next for Southern. 6 o'clock kick right here in Baton Rouge. It was a great environment there last week. I'm sure it'll be the same this week. A&M's a good team. They put up 51 points last week against Lane, so they've got a really explosive offense. They can pass it well. They pass it efficiently, too. Their quarterback had, I think, 3 incompletions last game, and the run game's good as well. They go over 150 pretty easily with a lot of different guys taking it from the backfield there. And they've also played Vanderbilt already, kind of an early season non-conference game. They did lose 47-13, which isn't necessarily a fun score to look at. But you look at the stats, and they put up some pretty good numbers. They ran the ball for over 150. They passed the ball for about 150 as well. So they went for 300 yards in a very balanced way. And they won the time of possession battle, too, against Vanderbilt, which was impressive. So they've played some stiff competition, and that's a good Alabama A&M team. So for me, there's just too many question marks right now with Southern's offensive line, really their offense in general. And A&M put up 51 points last week. Like, this offense can move the football and light up the scoreboard. So I'm taking Alabama A&M to beat Southern. But I hope I'm wrong, and I hope that some of the things I just spoke about are cleaned up and fixed up, because then Southern can really start to look like what they did look like towards the end of last season when they finished 7-5. So stay tuned for that. I do have Alabama A&M winning this weekend.